All right, let's get into it. We're about to listen in on a conversation that's happening inside your body right this very second. It's a kind of secret dialogue between two organs you'd never expect, and it controls pretty much everything, from how you feel to what you remember. This is the incredible story of the gut-brain connection.
You know what I'm talking about, right? That little hunch, that intuition. Maybe the butterflies you get in your stomach before a big presentation, or that sinking feeling when you just know something is off. We say this stuff all the time, but what if it wasn't just a figure of speech?
Well, it's not. The science is now showing us that this connection is one of the most mind-blowing areas of research today. That little conversation between your gut and your brain is absolutely real. And believe me, it is profoundly shaping who you are every single moment of the day.
So, let's unpack the science behind that gut feeling. What are we really talking about when we say the gut and the brain are connected?
Okay, so at the very center of all of this is something called the gut-brain axis. Now, the easiest way to picture it is as a super busy two-way highway. For a long time, we really only paid attention to the traffic going one way. Your brain sending signals down to your gut. That's why stress can give you a stomachache. But here is the game-changing discovery. Most of the traffic is actually flowing the other way. Your gut is constantly sending a flood of information up to your brain, influencing your thoughts, your emotions, the whole shebang.
To really get a grip on this conversation, you have to understand that your gut is not just some simple tube for processing food. No, it's an incredibly complex and intelligent system. It's so complex, in fact, that scientists have literally nicknamed it our second brain.
And that is not an exaggeration. Your gut is lined with its very own nervous system. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it contains over 100 million neurons. To put that in perspective, that's as many neurons as you have in your entire spinal cord, all packed into your gut, managing that whole complex world down there.
But wait, it's not just our own cells hanging out down there. The gut is also home to this bustling metropolis of trillions of microorganisms. We're talking bacteria, viruses, fungi, the whole crew. And all together, we call this the gut microbiota. It's an ecosystem that is as unique to you as your own fingerprint.
And this is where things get really, really wild. The combined genes in your gut microbiome outnumber your own human genes by 150 to 1. Think about that. This massive genetic library gives these tiny microbes the power to create thousands of different chemicals that our own bodies can't make. It's like having a personalized pharmacy inside you, constantly sending out chemical signals all over your body. So, okay, we've got a second brain and this massive microbial community living in our gut. But how in the world do they actually talk to the brain in our head? Let's take a look at the different lanes on this gut-brain superhighway. Let's just start with a fact that blows most people's minds. You know serotonin, right? The famous feel-good chemical we always associate with happiness? Well, a staggering 95% of it is made in your gut, not your brain. Now, that gut-made serotonin doesn't just pass directly into the brain, but it plays a huge role in sending signals that influence brain function in other ways. It's pretty incredible. So this communication happens on 4 main channels. First, you've got the vagus nerve. Think of it as a direct fiber optic cable running from the gut to the brain. Then you have hormones. Your gut releases signals into your blood that travel to your brain to tell it, hey, I'm full or I'm still hungry. Third, your gut bacteria create their own messages. When they digest fiber, they produce these amazing compounds. Think of them like chemical text messages that can actually calm inflammation in the brain. And finally, since most of our immune system actually lives in the gut, it can send out these alarm signals that directly affect how your brain is working.
Okay, so if this communication network is so vital, what happens when the line goes fuzzy or the signal gets broken? Well, we're now learning that the consequences can be absolutely devastating, and they might be at the root of some of the most difficult diseases we face.
I mean, this is a truly profound shift in how we think about brain health. For decades, we studied these as diseases that start and stop in the brain. But this new evidence is suggesting that maybe we've been looking in the wrong place all along. So let's take Parkinson's disease. There's this idea called the Grok hypothesis, and it suggests that the toxic proteins that cause the disease might actually show up first in the gut. For maybe 20 years, the only symptoms a person might have are things like chronic constipation. Then, the disease slowly creeps up that vagus nerve, almost like a slow-burning fuse, and it only causes the tremors we associate with Parkinson's when it finally reaches the brain. And the connection to our mental health is becoming just as clear. When scientists compare the gut bacteria of healthy people to those with depression, the difference is just stark. In the depression profile, you see a massive loss of different types of microbes. way fewer of the good guys that produce this anti-inflammatory stuff called butyrate, and way more of the bacteria that seem to promote inflammation all over the body, including the brain.
We're seeing a really similar pattern in Alzheimer's disease. Patients tend to have less microbial diversity, fewer of those helpful anti-inflammatory bacteria, and less of that brain-protecting butyrate. And at the same time, they often have higher levels of this other chemical called TMAO, which some gut bacteria produce and has been directly linked to those sticky amyloid plaques that are the hallmark of Alzheimer's.
Now, I know this all sounds pretty heavy, but here is the incredibly hopeful part of this whole story. Because this connection exists, it gives us a brand new, powerful lever we can actually pull. We can take steps to reboot the entire system. And you know what the single most powerful tool we have is? It's diet. It's not even close. A Mediterranean-style diet, which is packed with fiber from tons of different plants, literally feeds your good bacteria, and they thank you by producing those anti-inflammatory compounds. On the flip side, a typical Western diet, full of ultra-processed foods, does the exact opposite. It starves your good microbes and feeds the ones that cause inflammation.
And beyond just diet, there's a whole new generation of therapies starting to pop up that directly target this gut-brain connection. We're talking about things like psychobiotics. Those are probiotics designed specifically for mental health, and even things like fecal microbiota transplants, or FMT, which are basically a complete microbiome reset.
But, it's really important to keep a realistic perspective here. As experts like Wolfgang Marx point out, these aren't miracle cures, at least not yet. Right now, they seem to work best as add-on therapies, powerful tools that can complement standard treatments but not necessarily replace them.
The potential, though, is just staggering. A recent breakthrough study showed that by restoring this gut-brain communication pathway in old mice, scientists could actually reverse their age-related cognitive decline. I mean, the old mice were suddenly able to form new memories just as well as the young ones. This really hints at a future where we might be able to protect our brains as we age by focusing on our gut.
So what's become crystal clear is that this conversation between our gut and our brain is constant. It's powerful, and it influences everything. And it leaves us with this one fascinating possibility, that maybe the greatest medical revolution of our time won't come from studying the brain in isolation, but from finally learning to listen to what our second brain has been trying to tell us all along.